Live.
Not,
you are right. The broadcast is live.
All right. Good evening, Boomland. This is Steve Berger and Munch. We started us a little show to connect people, bowlers, do a little Q&A. So we're gonna do a little chime in. So any questions you want to, we're interviewing Justin Bowie today. So if you want to chime in and ask any questions, we're gonna do a little segment where we read the questions out to them and let them answer any questions y'all may have. And Steve, you got something to say?
Yeah, thank you. All right, so we can just kind of start off the conversation here as we're waiting on Bowie to join us. First off, the new rule that came out yesterday in our hometown here in Kenner here, where everybody's going to have to start wearing masks, while we bowl. I guess since we're on here, maybe you can tell me what's your opinion of that. I mean, I got my opinion. I'll share my opinion. What's your opinion of that? You think that's going to be something people are going to follow? You think that's whether or not we think it's right? I guess it really don't matter. But what do you think? You think people are going to follow it? You think people are going to fight it?
I just think the bottom line is it's really not about you. It's about being courteous to the next person. You know what I'm saying? So you got to suck it up and just do what's right at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You're out in a public space, so you just need to, do the right thing. It's not to protect you from no one. It's protecting people from you, just in case you may have it and transmit it. You don't want to be, I don't want to be the one who has the virus and pass it on to a loved one or a friend, or even someone I don't even know. So that's just it. I mean, I don't like wearing a mask, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna comply, just because it's not about me, it's about the next person, being a good neighbor or a good friend or a good person, basically at the end of the day. What you think?
Just speculating, talking in fun here. I say it's in fun because it's just talk. Do you think everyone's going to feel that way? Or do you think there'll be some pushback?
No, indeed, it's not. No, it's going to be some pushback. Always going to have pushback. You're going to always have your rebels. Yeah, you're going to always. But you got to have the conversation, and maybe you can open someone's mind or make them think about it a little bit, and maybe they'll comply. I mean, I would basically just like give them an ultimatum. I mean, you got to,
Yeah.
No bowling unless you comply.
One of the things I've noticed so far, just since we got back into bowling, is a lot of people seem like they're really unsure how to do things as far as giving fives, not giving fives, shaking somebody's hand, not shaking somebody's hand. Obviously, I understand why you would want to do one or the other. I guess I'm just commenting on the fact that I've noticed some inconsistencies as far as people, whether or not what they're wanting each other to do. My personal opinion is I'll respect whatever they want. They want to not slap hands, fine. They want to, fine. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with either one. I'm just trying to feel other people out and respect what they want me to do, But I've noticed that a lot. Noticed that?
I don't mean to cut you off, but somebody's knocking. Yeah, somebody knocking. Let them in. You're not gonna ask who is it?
Oh no, let them in.
Bowie.
What's up, guys?
Hey. There's that little sexy devil.
Boo boo.
Got a little different hairstyle than the last time you saw me.
Yeah, you sure do.
I can't tell. What is that? Is that ancient Roman haircut? What is the new haircut style? A little shorter on the side.
Flip over there. Yeah.
That's a taper.
A little more professional.
Yeah.
I see. Well,
sorry to cut into your little chit chat there, but I've been hanging out waiting to come on.
Yeah, we just started so we can get viewers on, so that way we won't be waiting on it to build up. Just get a little preliminary talk so people can join.
Before you don't want to get a beer before we get started, Bowie? All right.
Slinging it back.
But look, I'm going to go ahead and start it off. If that's okay with you, Munch.
Yeah, run away.
A few notes I put down. I know we had done a Q&A before, and you were really good at answering those questions, and I appreciate that. My idea behind some of these, and Munch's idea behind some of these, is just having conversation, getting to know people outside of bowling, or maybe understanding why they are who they are while they bowl. And whether they get that or not out of this, it remains to be seen, but we'll get there. So one of the first things I wrote down, you're moving to Dallas. Everybody that knows you moved to Dallas. I've only been in Louisiana for a short time. I've only known you from Louisiana until you recently moved to Dallas. So did you live in Louisiana most of your life before that, or where were you from before that?
Yeah, so contrary to popular belief, I'm not from Vietnam. I wasn't born there.
You sure?
Yeah. But no, I'm from.
I said something else like China or Korea. My bad.
I'm from the West Bank of New Orleans. People that are watching probably know who that is. Gretna area. Grew up in Gretna and Belle Chase. Went to high school there, and then in 2011 went to LSU. I was actually signed to bowl somewhere else, actually in Texas for college, but I ended up not going. Ended up coming to LSU. Got there in 2011 until I moved. So about 8 years, a little over 8 years that I actually lived in VR. But family still lives in New Orleans. My mom still lives there in Belle Chase. My grandmother and uncle still live in the same house I grew up in Tarrytown, Gretna on the West Bank. But yeah, it's been Louisiana my whole life, and now I'm here. So it's a little bit different. Had to learn what a Frito pie was, which I had no idea what the hell that was. But they're not bad. Getting used to eating breakfast tacos a lot. I'm not planning on buying a pair of boots or anything like that. I'm gonna have to shy away. But yeah, so it's been good. Been good so far.
So you grew up out on the West Bank, but you don't have that accent, man. How'd that happen?
So I don't really ever feel like I've had any sort of accent. So I always say I was raised by New Yorkers in Southern Louisiana. So I don't know if it blended into nothing or it just cut each other out. But yeah, so my mom's parents are from New York, upstate New York. Traveled a lot in the Coast Guard. So, did a lot of stationing in different places, Rhode Island, Oregon, Louisiana, places like that, and ended up in Louisiana. My mom has 2 other siblings, and they were all born in different areas of the country. My uncle was born in Oregon. My mom was born in Louisiana. My aunt was born in Rhode Island. So it was kind of all over the place with my family. But yeah, so it's been an interesting way that my dialect has come about. Yeah, nobody ever says, "Wow, you really have an accent," or they always say that I don't. Surprisingly enough, but I never picked it up.
Well, me coming from Illinois, when I moved, obviously I'd spent several times down in Louisiana, but I would have recognized typical, West Bank or Louisiana accent that I never recognized on you. Whether, I was just kind of teasing you about that, but no, I never noticed an accent on you at all. So you talked about the move to Dallas already. So you got a new job. I know I've known you long enough to know that, you're going through college, and the typical time you spent in college where, you're putting all this money forth and efforts to do something you really enjoy. And then you go out in the real world and it's really difficult to find something that you really enjoy. And then it seems like, and correct me where I'm wrong here, but it seems like this new opportunity is something that took you in the direction that you were looking for all along.
Yeah. So, coming into we can just go all the way back. In my freshman year of college, I had no idea at all what I wanted to do. I was not super passionate about one thing, so I kind of went in, started off in marketing, my undergrad, and then that turned into psychology for like 2 seconds, literally 2 days. And then, we went down the line and ended up in sports management. I've always been a fan of I played sports growing up, not a lot. Like, I played golf and baseball and bowling. That was about it. Wasn't anything or organized basketball or soccer or anything like that. I never got into it. But always been a passion of mine. And then I enjoy the fan aspect of sports and the engagement that people have and the attachments that people have to it, whether it be bowling or any other sport. But obviously, as a bowler, I wanted to come up and work for the highest level. So, I got my undergrad in sports administration. I had my master's in sports business management. Worked for the National Senior Games, which was huge for me during my master's. So for 2 years when I was getting my master's, I worked for the National Senior Games in their events, and that was amazing to me. But yeah, like you said, coming out and after that, once I got my master's, my 2-year stint there was over. So very hard to find a job in the sports field. I was unemployed for 6 months. Thankfully, I had been bowling really well, making a good bit of money, and I had quite a bit in my bank account, and it sustained me for 5-6 months of paying rent and having to buy food and gas and all that stuff with no employment.
You're welcome for part of my donations on that too, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciated it always. You enter in a tournament, was able to, a couple extra tanks of gas and maybe treat myself to some Chick-fil-A, things like that.
Right.
Yeah, so it was tough. I took a job that everybody likes to make fun of me for being a purchaser for a plumbing company. But hey, it was money at the time, and I really needed it. So, my sports background has kind of evolved in different ways. So it started off in large scale event management, and then I had the job as an athletic director for a year at high school, or it was really a pre-K through high school. So that ended up not really working out. We didn't have the same ideas on things on the future and everything like that. And a job with USBC came up. I actually applied for a different position than I have now. I actually applied for a youth bowling position to coordinate the USA bowling operations throughout the country. But through my interview process, I guess they liked me, wanted me to go to a different position. So, here I am. My actual title is Association Services Coordinator here at USBC. You might have more questions on that, and that's fine. I don't want to just ramble, but yeah, it's the pinnacle of where I wanted to work. For me, growing up, I've always wanted to work for what was, YABA. Growing up was there was no USBC youth. It was YABA with Garfield on every little patch you get for shooting 100 and all that stuff. So, I always wanted to be part of the governing body of something I was passionate about. So this is pretty cool.
So that's good that you brought that up, talking about what your job is titled and things like that. I'm sure there's a lot to it. Maybe you can give us a short version or whatever of, because I agree. I think that from the little time that I do know you, at least my opinion of my time with you is I know that you'll be fair. You won't take sides. You're not biased. So being involved in a governing body of something that you enjoy anyway, seemed to me that fits you pretty good. So can you give us kind of a short version of, your everyday activity while you're at work?
Sure. So right now we're working from home. This is my glorious workspace, the bathroom right there. But yeah, we've been working from home for about a little over 3 months. But my position is Association Services Coordinator. So, we have over 1,600 associations in the country, local associations. Greater New Orleans for you guys, Greater Baton Rouge for anybody else watching, Louisiana State, things like that. We have those associations. So we have 1.2 million members to serve, and those local associations are really our boots on the ground and taking care of the bowling business from that aspect. Running leagues, running the open tournaments, the women's tournaments, youth championships, things like that. So anything that they need with governance, structure, fundraising, running their events, things like that. They'll reach out to me or somebody else on my team. I'm the only coordinator. I'm technically the coordinator for the whole nation. And we have a few regional managers that are more specific to their states, and they're a little bit more local. But as far as the, any questions or help that they need from the national office, they'll come through me. I'm pretty involved. I have a lot of different kind of hats that I've been able to take on, helping out with Win Labs, which is the processing software for memberships. We have a new online tournament registration program that we are pitching to associations right now, that we're going to be hoping to use for local and city and state championship tournaments. So that'll be something that hopefully, in a year, local associations get on board with. That's kind of my area. That's kind of my baby, in a way. So hopefully we can have a conversation with whoever your president and association managers are, and we can get them out to get everybody on the software, because we think it's really cool, especially in COVID world where we're going to more paperless and cashless and things like that. It's going to be a big deal. So that's going to be, we talked about it in my interview process that this was going to be my project that I was going to have, and it's really come to fruition. So
yeah, that's going to have to be a direction I'm sure we'll end up, whether we like it or not, even if people want to push back on it. I want to ask something personal of you.
You gonna let Munch speak?
It's a difficult question. I know I made a move down to Louisiana. I moved away from all of my friends and people I'm used to. I lived in Illinois my whole life. I moved down there by myself. So it made me think to ask you the question. I mean, I know you've been with the same girl for quite a while now. You now moved, she moved, and then you moved. So has this move helped, or is it kind of the same? Or as far as your relationship with Taylor, how's that been? This changed in it any way, or is it still the same?
No, it's about the same. I mean, we're still 2.5, 3 hours away. This year she's been really hit hard with studying. She thankfully just passed her CBSE exam, which is now going to allow her to sit for another exam on Monday to be able to pass on to year 3 of her clinicals, so she can actually go into the hospitals and start practicing, seeing real patients and actually making some real change. So she's really excited about that. But I mean, it's been good. It's been fine. We haven't really been able to talk too much over the past few weeks because she's really been studying. She studies from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, it was nice because I actually went to Shreveport for 6 weeks and stayed there with her, worked from her apartment. So we got to spend a lot of time together there before she had to start her studies. So that was nice, not really seeing each other, but 2 times a month, especially with my bowling schedule. I don't really have the ability to travel and go see her at this time. So, I mean, I haven't seen her in 2 months, but, in person, but we're keeping up and we're doing okay.
Well, that's good. I'm happy for you guys. I like her a lot, and I think you guys are good for each other.
Everybody likes her way more than me. So.
Yeah.
My mom included.
Talk to you if it wasn't for her. So, all right, we'll jump into some bowling things. Practice. I've seen that you practice a little bit. How often do you practice?
So, thankfully, we have, where I work is the International Training and Research Center. It's pretty much the best bowling facility in the world, in my opinion. So we have that ability as an employee to go practice there kind of whenever you want. With my schedule, I've bowled a tournament every weekend since middle of May. Every single weekend, and I'm bowling again this weekend. July 11th is gonna be my first weekend off. So, since things open back up, I've been traveling, bowling every weekend. So practice has slowed down a little bit just because I need some rest. But I've got 2-3 leagues a week and then tournaments every weekend. So typically in a normal schedule, I'll practice probably 2 or 3 times a week, and then I'll have league 2 or 3 times a week. Just nothing too heavy. Just go and make sure I'm feeling okay, make sure my fit feels good, my timing is right. I'll spend about 30 minutes just shooting at a 5, 8, 9, because we can just set up whatever pins we want. Don't really try and strike in practice. When I'm out there, I don't score. Just try and make sure that the ball's coming off my hand good and going where I want for the most part. And then usually last 20 minutes, I'll shoot some spares, and then that's pretty much it. Nothing too intense. But yeah, about two times a week. Sometimes I'll go on my lunch break at work, which is nice. I'll pack a lunch, and then I'll go practice 45 minutes and put the button up back on and head back to work. All kind of gross, but hey, is what it is. But it's a nice thing to have.
It's good you bring that up so often. I think people, it's like they've heard it, but I don't know if it's not sinking in or whatever. But I got a lot of people that when I see them practice, they're judging their practice based off their score, and that's, in my opinion, that's really never what you're there to do. You're going there to work on something, whether it be like you said, your fit, your feel, whatever it is you're trying to do. Make sure you're repeating shots and that sort of thing right there. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I don't think I've scored in practice in years. Sorry.
What's yeah.
I don't think I've turned the score on.
I would work it to where the score didn't even come up.
Yeah, I don't think I've turned it on in years.
Session if I could have the score not show, because all that does is distract me. Because I'm weak-minded, But so the other thing, I know this is kind of a typical question. We'll probably ask a lot of people this question. Can you talk about your best memory of a tournament win, like when you won a tournament and that felt really good? I know you're thinking of one or two. I know you immediately go to one or two. Everybody does.
Yeah, so it's probably two, and they've been the same for a while. First would be winning the Juno back in 2016, just to win a really what I consider to be a top tier event. Even though it's localized to the South region usually, but what I consider to be a very, very, high pinnacle event. Being able to come out on top of that after leading the year before and then making I believe the top four, to come back and lead qualifying again, and just come out and do well in front of my friends and family, being able to have them cheer me on, and that was pretty cool. And then second would be probably winning the PBA regional that I was able to come out on. It was also in 2016 in Houston. It was right after the flood in Baton Rouge. So, literally the day before I left, I'm helping Sumner Taylor clean out his flooded house, taking out bowling balls and
that was a lot of bowling balls at the summer.
Yeah, and they're all 16 pounds. But taking out bowling balls and moving furniture and stuff like that, and going 2 days later and going out and leading a regional, winning a regional by however many I won by. So it was really, really awesome. So those are two pretty big tournament wins that I'm really proud of and happy with, and happy I was able to experience.
I got two more questions, and then we're going to let kind of Munch take over with the comments. And there's some questions from people already. I see them coming up. Chad Kennard, I see he's already got some questions for you. But two more questions. I'll ask them at the same time. Okay. Number one, how do you handle pressure when you need to hit the win? I think that's something that people either learn by accident or they have to teach themselves by doing it, and then they remember that. But there's moments of pressure. Is there anything mentally you prepare yourself to do at that moment when you need that hit to win? And then the other end of that question is, how often do you wish you were me or Munch? Because I know a lot of people like to be me or Munch. They just can't be.
So, all right. So first one there. Yeah, the first one, it really goes down to having a pre-shot routine. I pretty much do the same thing every time. It's repetitive and it's stupid. But I'll brush my shoe off 3 times one way and then spin it in my hand and brush it down the other way. It's just what I do every single time. I'll go wipe my ball off, use my rosin bag, pick the ball up, blow in the thumb hole, wipe my shoe. It's just something to do it the same way, every single time. And that makes it a lot easier to calm yourself down. I like being the guy that gets to step up and take care of business. So it's been, I don't like sitting on the bench and hoping that I win. I like to be able to step up and strike out to win. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's been nice. But second question, I guess, Man, there's select times, I can tell you. Want to be Munch because Ashley likes him. She still hates me.
Yes.
Yeah, she's still mad.
You left her on the street for
I did. For the damn beaches.
You're right.
So yeah, she kicked me to the curb, even though I'll go give her a hug and she still says she hates me. And there she is in the comments agreeing with me. And Burger, man, I want to be a BR champion, man. I've only got a second place. I've got a second place. I don't have a win. So that's a big envy.
We'll work on that
there for you. Yeah. Let's see.
Well, I would like
Munch,
being like one of the.
Some questions, huh?
No, I just want a comment from, like, in my opinion, being one of the better bowlers in Louisiana. Moving to Dallas, I'm pretty sure I know some great bowlers in that area. Was it humbling? Like, if the competition is, is it greater, or you feel like you kind of like slipped a bit, or you need to work more or harder to compete in the Dallas area?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And it's not a knock on anyone, so I don't want anybody to get offended, but the talent level here is incredible.
I already know.
Absolutely incredible.
Don't get offended.
Yeah, so
I
know, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. But the talent level here.
Somebody will say, why do you say that?
Yeah, I mean, your run of the mill bowlers here average 220. It's absolutely amazing how much talent is here. I've been lucky to be successful even in the events I've bowled. I haven't really felt like, thankfully, that I'm, a small fish in a big pond. I've been able to be successful, but that just comes down to me trying to work harder. I'm practicing more. I'm practicing different things, making my game better, working really hard on my spare game, because that's been something I struggled with my whole life, and I feel like that's top notch right now. I'm comfortable with it. Understanding my ball reaction, understanding what I need to do to be successful, and how to read lanes better, and everything like that. It's made me a 10 times better bowler, just to compete with these guys. You're not always going to win, out here. It's tough. Cashing is a great day in a lot of these fields. And thankfully, a lot of these guys are good guys. The guys that see on TV and everything, you don't know them well, but they've been a lot of my friends for a while, and getting to see them on a daily basis, they're good guys in general, good people. They want to grow the sport just as much. So it's been good. It's been good for me. I think personally as a bowler, it's been good for my game. It's been good for my drive to compete and want to get better every day.
All right. So for all the viewers, if y'all have a question for Justin, chime in and we'll go over it. Tyson Bernigan said, can we talk about how bowling guys who don't get practice on Tuesday goes?
That's another thing in Dallas. 260 is no good.
Wow.
On a pattern. 260 no good. So yeah, it's a good time. Had a guy show up last week in our scratch league in the second frame and pop off 270 at me on a pattern. So it was fantastic. Loved it. Loved every second of it.
Practice. Yeah.
Me.
For the Allen Iverson. Waiting for the Allen Iverson memes to fly in.
Rudy Garcia said, can we talk about your 670 for 4 you bowled in league last night?
I got to 740.
He said that's from Sean Lavery.
Yeah, I did get to 740.
Oh, okay.
And it's a house that doesn't agree with me very much. So we'll leave it at that.
You let that.
Hey, it happens, man. It happens.
Happens every week.
Ian said, does your wrist hurt with that weird backswing you have?
Surprised it took this long. I will occasionally have wrist pain, but that's only if I'm coming from an event where I really had to kind of hit it, make sure I really strapped on it. So that's kind of more of an unnatural movement. I mean, I don't do it on purpose, trust me. If I could stop it, I would with any success. I can get my swing straight, but God, it goes all over the place. So it's a natural thing for me. It's been going on for probably 10 years at least. I haven't always thrown it like that. I definitely don't do it on purpose, but my wrist pain is definitely at a minimum, considering you would think that I wouldn't be able to even like function. But thankfully right now I'm young enough and trying to stay in shape. So it's thankfully been not too bad, even with the amount of games I've been putting in lately.
I mean, who knows? You might go forever and never change that wrist position. But I can tell you from at least my experience, as you get older, you most likely will have to change some things. But if you stay ahead of it, change it as you go, it doesn't really hurt you too bad. Hopefully your wrist never bothers you. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
natural,
it doesn't feel like it's rotating. So it's actually it's more my elbow than my wrist, believe it or not. If you watch it in slow motion, it is more rotation of my whole arm than just my wrist. But it does look like that for sure.
Did Rash said it's not weird, it's unique. You is probably my favorite lefty.
Yeah, there's no way that's true. No way.
Has he not met Sumner Taylor?
No, we met him this past weekend.
Sumner's everybody's favorite lefty.
That's the Southwest Region Rookie of the Year right there. It's a good compliment
right.
from you. I appreciate that.
Right.
We have any more questions? Anybody who friends
Jack
with me?
Kennard asked one earlier.
Hold on, Steve. Let me let people know. Look up Boom Bowling on Facebook and and you can come in to the studio and make the comments, because I shared it on my phone, so I have a lot of friends that's commenting on the phone instead of in the studio. So I can't really put their questions up. So if y'all want, go to Boom Bowling and like it, and y'all will have access to the Boom Talk. You got
Chad had asked earlier something about a doubles win that you might have had with him, that maybe it wasn't as important to you as it was to him.
You know, I only remember one no tap doubles win with Chad. I definitely I have more of a memory of a doubles event with Chad. We were bowling a Baker doubles, and we needed about 8, I think, on a fill shot in the 10th frame to win the event, and he threw in the gutter. So if he's going to if he's going to come on here and say something like that, we should make sure that he also understands that we could have made a little bit more money, had he shown up.
How did he manage to get out of the bowling alley after that?
Too nice.
That would have been
way
rough.
too nice.
I don't even know if I would have took my stuff with me. I probably would have just walked out in my bowling shoes.
It was unbelievable. It was one of those things that it wasn't for a lot of money, but man, you don't forget, and he'll be hearing about it forever.
That's right. We got any more questions on there, Munch?
Oh Lord, not really.
Just good ones.
I'm trying to see, man, because I shared it, and I'm gonna see.
Time to look them up.
Yeah, let me get some questions off my phone.
Yeah, go ahead. I got like 10, 15 more minutes. Or I gotta go to league tonight. So.
You got league tonight. What league is tonight, Bowie?
So we have a scratch draft league over at Cowtown Bowling Palace. We bowl, well, the summer isn't a draft league, but the fall and spring are. It's trio league, and 14 teams or so, and they draft. You draft a whole team, snake draft, and out of the pool of players, everybody that's signed up, and go from there. And it's all scratch, and it's on patterns. You usually rotate a pattern out every 6 to 8 weeks. I know John Janowitz made our patterns for this past year. So tonight we're bowling on what we have been. It's like 46, 47 feet, kind of low volume, not very hard, but it's just long pattern, hooks a bunch. But It's a good league.
Yeah.
It's really competitive, very competitive.
You got to do, since you're a lefty, you got to get inside of the second arrow then, huh?
I do, but if anybody that knows me, I pretty much live there. I've always kind of been the anti-left-hander. Always had a weird little ball roll that made me have to move inside more. But yeah, it's I'm comfortable playing anywhere, pretty much anywhere.
I can't wait to get. We're going to get Sumner in here, and we're going to have a conversation with him. We're going to talk about his adjustments.
It's changing balls.
That's right.
That's it. That's all he does. That's all he's ever done is just change balls.
That's right. That's right. It works. Hey, he strikes. Whatever.
Chad chimed in. Chad Conrad. He said, "Do you think left-handers have an advantage, and how has those advantages helped you? You feel?"
Yeah. So that's always the question, right? So
yeah.
And Chad will take it to his grave.
Right.
So, I mean, being left-handed is, kind of is what it is. We have our advantages and our disadvantages. For me, having usually a little bit higher rev rate and different ball roll, like I said, I got to move inside more. I think there's definitely something on house shots for guys that can stay straight, not really have to move their feet a whole bunch, but for me, I usually end up in the right-handed cross traffic, so gets a little interesting when I got to move inside. But in general, obviously less traffic, less transition for guys that play straighter. There's definitely an advantage a lot of times on house easier conditions. But on tougher patterns where you need to break them down, no. I wish I could be right-handed all day, every day. I'm watching myself have a half a board to hit at 40 feet, and I'm watching guys throw a ball and put their hands over their head and turn around and go high flush. So, later in blocks. So, once you break them down, they can be really, really good on the right side. And I don't think a lot of guys seem to appreciate that as much as they should.
Yeah, that's payback time, man. That's all them times we had to suffer on the right side. We finally get an advantage. It's a lovely day when it finally happens. But it does happen. You're right. There are times in those situations that the right side has the advantage. But, do you find yourself when you're running into that right-hand traffic, do you have to, loft it a little bit to get over the front?
I'm not really great at lofting. I just trick my ball roll, raise my axis tilt a little bit more, just get it through the front, or go to some more shiny surface balls, different pin layouts. But yeah, you got to get creative sometimes with getting through it. If you're bowling an 8-game block and they hook a bunch, like we did in Longview 2 weeks ago, SASPA, a lot of guys having to play way deep. So I'm putting the ball down on 30 and hoping that it gets through the front part of the lane. But just got to spin it sometimes, which I'm usually pretty good at. With just my funky wrist position, I can spin it pretty easily. So just got to do what you got to do.
Justin Veach said earlier that you can't handle pressure. That was one of his comments. Did you see that one much?
Oh man, Justin. Look, Bowie already know. I've been trying to get rid of Justin's. I got rid of one, and I just can't get rid of this one for nothing. God damn.
Man, you should see all the people that are so excited to go bowl NOLAs now that you moved.
Yeah, I hope the numbers go up, man. So no more excuses, right?
Tyson Brannigan says this video is not an excuse to be late to league.
Don't worry, Tyson. Tyson is my teammate and league secretary tonight. Don't worry, I will be there with our free pizza coupon that we got last week for striking in the 5th and 6th. So
you show up in the second frame and shoot 270. You'd be all right.
Yeah, be all right. No problem. I don't need practice, remember? We don't need practice. Make sure that that pre-league meeting goes a little long, Tyson. Will be all right.
You ever been in a league meeting where everybody agreed? I'm still waiting for that day to happen.
Yeah, the only time that happened was when I joined a meeting at All-Star, and they agreed to raise the handicap because I joined the league.
Everybody agreed on that.
100%.
That happens to the other Justin all the time. He actually got left out of scratch league because his average was too high.
Yeah.
I was like, are y'all kidding me?
Went from like 80% to 220 to 230. Like,
You should have seen all the people sign up for the league when they found out Justin Veach wasn't going to bowl. Everybody had their hand up. I'm in.
Well, man, it was nice seeing you, and I wish you all the success that you would ever want or can handle.
Appreciate it.
And good luck with your relations, and I hope I'm invited to the wedding.
Absolutely. If we can ever have one these days, yeah.
I will conk Ashley on the head and drag her there. Don't worry about that.
I'll give you a +1. I'm not sure if you're going to use it, but
I'm going to use it. You're trying to get me in trouble.
You got to invite me to the bachelor party.
Absolutely. Yeah, I told you. You got left out of the last one. You got to come to the next one.
That's right. Me and Drake Sneed, man, we'll be like peas in a pod.
Yep. But I appreciate it, guys. Having me on as your first interviewee. Pretty cool. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I'll be seeing you guys. I'm coming down for BR next month. Still talking to Donna and everybody in the tournament management on how we're going to make sure that tournament's the best it can be. But I'm excited about it. I'll be down there probably a day early, going to stay a couple extra days and see my people and hang out for a little bit. But I'm pretty excited about coming down.
I'll do my best to guide you all the way to second again.
I will take it right now. I'll take second any day of the week.
All right, Absolutely. Buddy. Hey, thank you. Have a good one.
Bowl well tonight.
All right. Thank y'all. Have a good one. See ya.
Oh, shit. Steve, you hung up? Well, Steve was supposed to stay, but I guess he thought the whole interview was over. But man, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. That was Justin Bowie, a very nice young man, left-handed bowler. We got to know a little bit about his personal life, and I think it really went well. And Thursday, some of you may or may not know, we're going to interview Daniel Jackson, Sweet Roll, they call him. He's the tournament director of SIBC, and if you're not doing nothing Thursday, man, check the recording. We're gonna interview Daniel, and I hope everybody comes back and check us out. Like I said, thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next.